Blood by the band OSI, released the 27th of April 2009 in Europe and the 19th of May 2009 in North America. OSI is a part-time studio band project originally formed by Fates Warning guitarist Jim Matheos and former Dream Theater keyboardist Gavin Moore. The members and contributors write their material independently, sharing their tracks by email, only coming together for remixing and to add additional tracking. The band's name comes from a short-lived government agency called the Office of Strategic Influence, formed in 2001 to further the war on terror through propaganda. The original idea of the project was to record a Jim Matheos solo album, much in the style of his work with the band Fates Warning. But Matheos found that the inclusion of Gavin Moore changed the direction of the music so much, now incorporating electronica into that progressive metal sound. Blood is OSI's third album, and again had Matheos and Moore working together long distance, emailing ideas and song parts. Gavin Moore has described OSI, the sound of OSI, as a new approach to progressive rock. We're trying hard to combine that progressive metal with electronica. He says also that the two genres are almost natural enemies, and that the conflict keeps the music interesting. On the band's first two albums, I felt they were still finding their way to successfully blending those genres together, but on Blood they do it. It's a hard task, and in the wrong hands it could sound bloody awful. But on Blood the band pull it off, and pull it off brilliantly. On Blood you have these rich, textured, electronic soundscapes, almost ambient at times, from the keyboards of Gavin Moore. Moore also provides pulsing beats, minimal techno, and where required, beautiful synth and piano lines. And he does all of this on one keyboard, the Mini Moog Voyager. That's the only keyboard he used for this album. Add on top of this, you have Jim Matheos laying down all these heavy, catchy, crunchy, groove-orientated riffs, but adding softer touches where needed, and when the spaces allow, soloing like a demon. A hugely underrated guitarist, and I also must say this, his bass playing on this album is simply phenomenal as well. Then on drums we have the great Gavin Harrison, and he provides a masterclass in drumming. His work on this album is simply sensational. Gavin Harrison. I've never met or spoken to Kevin or Jim. It was purely an email relationship. But I've done loads of sessions like that, so it wasn't a problem. He says all the songs arrived with a demo drum machine part, which he listened to, then turned off. Sometimes the instructions were he was asked to stick close to the demo, other times he was just asked to improvise. Gavin Moore also wrote most of the lyrics for the album and sings on all but two of the tracks. Some reviewers have described Moore's vocal delivery is a bit slow and monotonous, but I don't think so, for it suits the material perfectly. And more so than the two previous OSI albums, this one is much richer in memorable melodies. The mood the band create is atmospheric, mysterious, dark, brooding, and a bit cloak and dagger at times. Something is going on, but you're not quite sure exactly what it is. The icing on the cake comes in the form of Phil Magnotti, who mixed the album, and he's done a remarkable job. There's so much depth, so much space to the music. He's created almost a sort of cinematic feel with the album. I love the whole album, but here's some highlights. Track 1, The Escape Artist. It's all true when I lit that fuse. I never meant to be your friend. I kicked the tire, but it caught on fire. I'm going to try and make amends. You act mysterious, but you speak in gibberish. You can take your memory. I'm off. I'd better be alone. But just listen to the groove Jim Matheos' guitar riff gets into, and the way Harrison's drums just lock right on it. You want the perfect mix of progressive metal and electronica stroke techno? It's right here. The melody even has distant echoes of Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit. Track 2, Terminal, with its fantastic atmospheric opening, courtesy Gavin Moore. I'm guessing he's using a sample of John Paul Jones keyboards from No Quarter. It's a swirling, majestic gem of a song. I woke up to a beautiful day in a cave, watching colours wave. I sat up as the broadcast day began. I'm in love before the phone starts ringing. It's you. Here's another clue. I'll be gone before the daylight savings is through. Be the hero. When this track starts, you don't know quite where it's going to go until at 1 minute 12 seconds in comes this huge monolithic guitar riff and off we go. It sneakily changes time signatures and reminds me of Rush at the very top of their game. Keep your head down, keep your voice down. Tell the terrorists we are coming inside. He can high five from a skydive. He's a hero from coast to coast. Track 8, Stockholm, has Mikael Åkerfeldt from Opeth guesting on lead vocals on a song he co-wrote. And what a job he does. His singing is just simply superb, and I'd love to hear him guest on OSI albums in the future. If OSI continue to do albums, it's been an 8-year wait since their last album from 2012, but if they do more albums, I'd love to hear this guy come back and sing on a few more tracks. He is absolutely brilliant. A car comes to a halt. Inside A is waiting. He is calling his house, eyes fixed at the gun. A bag is tossed on the ground, its contents already used. The cold subsides and someone dies, there in the half-light. Stockholm builds and builds to a magnificent climax, and you just don't want it to end, but unfortunately it does. Yes, Blood is a great album, and a very refreshing one in the world of progressive metal. As often, that can just be the same old musical quagmire. So there you have it. I think Blood is a magnificent album. It never fails to entertain me. It's an album I get lost in. I put those headphones on and I just drift away to it. And I would say, if you are going to give it a listen to it on a good stereo, they're showing my age there, a good system or a great pair of headphones, and you'll get the maximum effect out of it, because you really do need to listen to this on something good. Sometime in the next few weeks, I'll be looking at Fire Make Thunder, which is OSI's next album from 2012. So thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.